What's up everyone and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Today in this video we are going to talk about the context manager in Python. So if you are a beginner Python programmer trying to learn something new, then this video is definitely for you. Watch till the end and hopefully you will learn something new from this video. Before diving into what context managers are, we need to understand that the operations like file operations or database connections are very common in every programming language. When we talk about Python, a single process can handle a limited number of file operations, meaning that these resources are very limited in supply. Let's have a look at this code snippet. As you can see, this code snippet doesn't do much. It defines an empty list in the beginning and runs a for loop for 10,000 iterations. And in every iteration, I'm appending the object returned by this open function. So this open function is opening up a file. In every iteration, we are opening up a file. So if I run this code snippet, you can see it's running and it runs for a while, then throws this OS error and it's telling me that too many open files, test.txt. So what's happening here is that in every iteration we are opening a file, but we are not closing the file. So we are not handling the resources wisely. Therefore, we are getting this OS error. In some cases, it might even crash our system. So we need to make sure that we release these resources after using them. But now you might say that this code snippet is stupid. We have an inbuilt close method as well that we can use along with this open function, and it will close the file in every iteration if we add that. That's exactly what I'm doing in this code snippet right here. So it's the same code snippet as above, but I'm only adding this dot close method at the end. So this dot close method will close the file after we are finished with our opened file. If I run this code snippet, you can see it runs successfully without throwing any error. That's because in every iteration, we use the resource and then we release the resource. That's why we didn't get any OS error. But here's where the problem lies. Sometimes programmer might forget to add this dot close method at the end and the file will remain opened in our memory, which can cause many issues. So wouldn't it be very helpful if users have a mechanism for the automatic setup and teardown of resource? Well, you might say in this case that haven't you worked with the with statement of Python? We can use the with statement of Python along with the open function, and it will close the file automatically after we are done doing all the operations with it. When we handle the files in Python like this, we are making the use of context manager. So this thing right here is an example of the context manager. We are using the with statement along with the open function. In this case, I don't need to close the file. Everything will be taken care by this context manager. So right here, if I want to, do any operations on my resource, which is the file resource, I can do those operations within this with block. So I can say f.write and I can write any content to that file. And then afterwards, I don't need to close the file. I don't need to add the f.close statement. That is taken care by the context manager. So therefore, context manager is nothing. It manages the resources for us. So now that you know what a context manager is, and now you have an example that you might have already used it before, now the question arises, can we create a context manager of our own? And if we can, how can we do it? Well, there are many methods to do that in Python. In this video, I'm going to discuss doing it using the classes. Let's do that in the next section. To create our own context manager in Python, we have two methods. Either we can use the context manager decorator, or we can create a class and then use it as a context manager. And in this video, we are going to create a class. So in order for a class or an object to be recognized as a context manager, it must implement two magic methods, and they are underscore underscore enter underscore underscore and the underscore underscore exit underscore underscore method. I know it's mouthful, but this is how it is. So if we look at this code snippet here, what I've done is I've created a simple class and named it file handler. And then I'm defining three different methods in here. The first one is simple, is the constructor of this class. Remember, this is how we create a constructor in Python. And then I'm defining an enter method, and this enter method doesn't do anything. It returns the resource that needs to be managed. And then I'm defining this exit method. It doesn't return anything, but its job is to clean up the resource that is being used or managed. And you can see the way I'm using this file handler is similar to how we use the open function. So I'm saying with file handler, this will create an object of this file handler and assign its value to this f variable. And then I'm simply saying pass because I don't want to do any operation right now. So if I give it a go, let's see what we get. You can see we are getting these three outputs because that's what we have defined in all these methods. So first the init method gets called, then the enter method gets called, and then the exit method gets called. So this is the flow of our context manager. Now we can take this template of our context manager and try to mimic the file handling using our own context manager. Let's do that in the next section. In this code snippet, you can see I have created another class and I have named it file manager. And what I'm doing inside this class is I'm defining a constructor first, and I'm taking in two parameters, the file name and the mode. And inside this constructor, I am setting self.filename equals to file name and self.mode equals to mode. And for file, we am setting the value to none. And then comes the enter method. This will execute after the constructor. And what I'm doing here is I'm setting the self.file equals to the object returned by this open function. And to this open function, I'm passing in the file name and the mode, which we take in right here. And then I'm returning the self.file. And in the exit method, I am closing our file. So this is how amazingly we can manage our file resources. So we are opening the file in this enter method and we are closing the file in our exit method. And right here, I'm using this class with file manager and passing in this test.txt as a file name and the mode as write. And as you know that the value of this object will be assigned to this f variable. And then inside, I'm doing some file operations. I'm saying f.write test. So if we run this code, you can see test.txt file has been created in my folder. And let's change this to something else. Let's say testing 2 and run it again. Open up this file. You can see the content changed to testing 2. So it is working perfectly. And if I want to know that if the file is being actually closed, what I can do is I can say print f.closed. If I run it again, you can see it gives me true, which means the file is being closed. So everything that was stored in, so the file object that was stored in this f variable has been closed in the end of our program. So this is it. This is what a context manager is in Python, how we can create our own context manager in Python. I just showed you one method and we just scratched the surface. There are still lots of things to be talked about. If you want a deeper video about this topic, then comment down below. I'll definitely make a video where we can go in depth about this context manager. But for now, this much of information should be enough for you to get started with context managers in Python. So I hope you learned something new from this video. Give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comment down below. Subscribe my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace out.